Welcome back, Charles.
Hey man, you know what really pisses me off? You click on
Every
a okay, so I'm just going to get the same news that you're trying to get me to read off of the television. Like
somewhere else.
nothing you put in that article is worth $1.99. Not a damn thing. Because if it was so exclusive that it was worth me paying a monthly subscription to read one fucking article, it would have already been on the TV. In fact, it would
Yeah,
have been on the TV before you finished your article and published it. Why? What is this new thing? Are people doing so much dumb shit outside of their company that like they're trying to pick change your light bulbs?
they're that bad at advertising, obviously, too. If they can't get any money, they've got to be able to sell their freaking services through people's reading. It's like the editorial doesn't make any money anymore, so that they have to actually pay. People have to pay to look at their shitty ass articles.
The one I was just on, I get it. It was the New York Times. I
Yeah, the
get
New
it.
York Times. There's
They
a
were
few other
struggling,
ones, but even
but
your local paper, even your local news. If you go to just say TV6, I believe that their news thing actually has a thing at the bottom. If you want to continue reading more, you have to pay 99 cents or whatever it is. Because our local paper back home, the Daily Press, Pioneer Tribune, I think all those on newspapers are doing it now. I get it, but it's not for me.
not the advisor. Free.
Is it free online?
Yeah, the advisor's free.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's my cousin Ozanich or the Ozaniches up there. So at worst, I could send him a message and be like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah.
Like all you're stopping is me from staying on your website, which you could acquire more money for website traffic via advertisements than you can having a handful of people willing to pay $1.99 to read one article and then what,
Yeah,
forget about the subscription for 3 months?
pretty much.
That's just trash. Apparently, Dan Graziano said it best. The dude has played 4 snaps and he's given 4 million interviews and none of them have made sense. And of course, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. But we're only talking about Aaron Rodgers because the Jets are a circus. And apparently, there is a strong belief within a bit of their fan base that Hackett is going to be gone before the season even starts. And I'm wondering if this is what caused Rodgers to be pissed with Salah. And now, the Egyptian shirt and everything today, people were asking, oh, do you think that was a message? And to who was it to? It definitely wasn't to the Jets. It was definitely to the head coach of the Jets. And it gets a little more interesting, too. With Rodgers and his absence, Salah came out and said it was inexcused, but yet praises Reddick for something way worse. And comes out and goes, if you're asking if we at least know where Reddick is, yeah, we know where he is. We only know where he was because earlier that day he put out an Instagram post of him in Japan.
He wasn't very shy about it. Like, he was pretty obvious that's where he was. Like, he didn't hide it at all on social media.
But it's so then Salah is asked about it. I'm pretty sure it's Salah, but I just call him
Yeah.
Salah. So Salah was asked about it, was asked about Reddick. He praises him. Reddick's been in the league for a while. I think he had 16 and a half sacks, blah, blah, blah. He knows what he's doing. He's well respected, blah, blah, blah. So, wait a minute, dude. I'm pretty sure you were still going to school when Aaron Rodgers was playing in the NFL. It's pretty apparent that this dude doesn't respect what Aaron has done. There has to be some form of it's not a writing on the wall, but it is a writing on the wall. You're not picking ghosts out of a corner here. I'm curious on why you would go to the podium, and the only reason there was chatter about Aaron Rodgers in Egypt is because
Yeah.
the head coach said it was inexcusable. Apparently, everyone else but the head coach knew about this trip, the ownership, the whole organization. It was well planned or documented, yada, yada. And I don't normally back Mr. Rodgers often. He's a great football player. He did wonderful
Yeah.
things in the city of Green Bay, but he's a New York Jet now. So I miss me with that. Oh, you're a blah, blah, blah Green Bay Packer fan. Yes, I am a Green Bay Packer fan, but I'm also not a J.J. McCarthy fan during the season.
So is this scuttlebutt coming from the fan base, or is this coming from like the actual like the Jets themselves that they possibly are going to fire and they've got someone lined up? Like I
So,
saw your
so
comment with the guy, and the guy just randomly said this, and I'm like, is that you, or are you just trying to trigger people with saying stupid shit?
Okay, so my original comment was just a joke, but then
Right.
this guy came out of the woodwork, and from my understanding, it's just common fan knowledge right
Oh,
now. Breaking it down, people are like, oh, it's so hard. I wish I knew the exact term for it. But basically, people are so enamored by Rodgers that they're afraid to say out loud that Nathaniel Hackett is trash, but quietly are saying out loud that Hackett's about to be gone. If Hackett was going to be gone, he would have been gone last year. That
why
entire
wait?
offense was
Why
terrible.
wait until now? That
So
would make no sense.
why wait until now? Why wait until 3 weeks from now? Why wait until 4 weeks from now?
Yeah, the preseason starts in 4 or 5 weeks. Like, you're
mean-
telling me they're going to get a whole new offensive coordinator, and they're just going to, we'll snowball.
We'll
until,
redo the
you
whole
know,
offense
yeah,
because that's exactly what Aaron Rodgers loves. Because for
Yeah.
one, it's not Hackett's offense, it's Rodgers' offense.
yeah.
Is that Robert at some point in time in this season is going to be fired. Like this is a feeling I have. You take it to the bank if you want to, but Robert's going to be fired, which is then going to throw Hackett into that position, right? He's the offensive coordinator. They're not going to give it to the DC. Rodgers has so much pull in that organization at this point. Playing 4 snaps in the regular season, he's got all this pull from what he did years ago. Not last year or the year before,
You
or
guys
even the
might-
year before that. It's
Jets might
years
have
ago
thought
now.
that they handpicked Rodgers, but Rodgers probably handpicked where he wanted to go himself. Realistically, that makes more sense than what the fans probably think.
Because you can't tell me, listen, I'm a 4-time MVP with a Super Bowl champion. Woody, put that chain on your neck and go upstairs. The Jets don't win. They are probably the worst organization in the NFL
Yeah.
with the absolute worst stain when it comes to a Super Bowl championship. Anyone who has no potatoes in that pot will tell you that the Jets bought that championship. And the NFL needed it to happen because the beginning of that merger, I can't remember what side it was specifically, but they're getting smacked. They were getting ass-handed. They were losing by double digits and weren't scoring any points.
Dumb for me to say that I would watch the Jets just to see Woody with his chain every week. I just want to see him walk out there with the chain. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious, but it's also ridiculous as shit.
I think it's funny that they don't show him as much as the other people or the other owners because every time they flash to him, he's got a diamond chain with 25-year-old women all in the booth, 10, 15 of them in the booth watching the game with him. I mean, the dude owns the Jets in New York City.
I'd rather watch Woody with than T Swizzy out there.
Yeah.
I would. I hate the Jets. I don't think they're fun to watch at all. But it's more fun to watch Woody with the ladies of the evening than it is to watch T Swizzle out there, band of forgotten children and misfits that she's got as an entourage.
I don't know. I'm on the opposite end. I would personally rather watch Taylor Swift than some old dude in a fucking glass box with 25-year-old chicks
it's
and a fucking diamond
entertainment
chain.
for me because it's like it's the biggest flex in the world to be the owner and to do that and do it in public and do it publicly, but then to wear that chain around your neck and be like a 60-some-year-old guy. You're not Hugh Hefner, dude. It's just not who you are. But he does it. He just doesn't give a shit.
When you have that, if you have
kind of
two-thirds, listen, if you have 2/3 of Hugh Hefner's money, you're Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
Especially at that age, it don't matter. That's dude. I could go on Google Maps and drive down a road in Florida. Look at just you'll see fucking an old person with way too many young chicks hanging around them. That's money in America. I don't know. Last season it was hilarious, and I don't disagree with you. The Woody thing is really funny, but no, the Jets are a terrible organization. I don't want to watch the Jets for fucking anything. And if you're forcing me to watch the Jets, like I'm in a really bad place. If we're being honest, right? Like,
Right.
I was just more curious, and I thought it would be more interesting story to me in all of this isn't Taylor Swift or fucking Woody Harrelson with 25-year-old women. It's when Robert Saleh is going to be fired. And I don't know how we went down that rabbit hole, but it's when Robert's going to get fired and Nathaniel Hackett's going to take over. I think that's going to be hilarious.
I didn't know this. The Carolina Panthers, they were number 2 richest owner in the NFL. He got taken up by the Hunt family. They took him over. They made $0.3 billion more last year. They took over for second place behind, obviously, the Waltons. But yeah, I think the Waltons were number 1 since they took it over. That's crazy to me that the guy's the 3rd richest in the NFL, and that team is just trash.
Yeah.
He just owns a team to own a team.
Yeah. We see this in many organizations, dude. I mean, look at Tom Gores with the Pistons.
Yeah, I think he's 18 billion or something.
Yeah, he's got a shit ton of money. He hangs out in California.
He hangs out with a bunch of foreign, like Russian leaders and diplomats and all these other things too. So he's got obviously tycoon money like that, the dick around money.
Yeah, it's $1 billion league. None of this is shocking to me, not even a little bit. The one shocking thing though is the Carolina Panthers.
It's just the fact
but
that
it's a salary cap league. It doesn't matter. You can't go over the salary cap.
I know, but you can say the same thing. But the Yankees are owned by one of the richest owners.
Baseball isn't a salary cap league.
I know, but I'm saying that they don't care that they're throwing their money away because they obviously are throwing their money away. They haven't won a World Series in God knows how long.
Yeah,
Carolina
they got $400 million, bro. Each team got $400 million. It just came out.
That's insane.
So after all of the costs are paid, they still received $400 million. So again, I don't like it. None of this is shocking to me. It's $1 billion league.
Yeah. So
I'm not
in baseball. In theory, is the only sport that I can think of off the top of my head that if you spend money, you can still make more money. Like you're never going to lose money. Like the Yankees, Boston, like they're not losing money.
Oh yeah. They lose money. Like if the Dodgers and Yankees don't make it to the World Series, they're going to lose money this year. Like they have to make it to the World Series to not lose money because of how the MLB does, and it's super dependent on the teams they play. The Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks got less playoff check money than the team prior, just based off of the ticket prices at the ballpark and the amount of people that showed up. Baseball's super finicky. We got into this a few episodes ago. We could dig it down before, but it's all based off of, like playoff money is based in a pool, and that's based off of ticket sale.
They make I
can't argue that. Maybe there's somebody who's pushing extra money to random organizations, but
playoff money is different than regular money.
According to the books, the Yankees have lost money, and they've lost a significant amount of money. According to the books, the Dodgers have lost money and a significant amount of money.
I know the Angels did because the Angels were going to loan Oakland their practice facility or something because Oakland was like behind on some payments or something. They're gonna be like, you guys can just come practice here or whatever, just to keep you because we want to keep beating up on you. It costs
$9 for a hot dog in Oakland. It's the second most expensive right now. So that owner's
crazy.
But that's again, we can have a finance episode. This is supposed to be a fantasy football. We'll jump in because I'm not prepared for a finance episode. You have salary cap leagues. You have the one non-salary cap league. The Yankees and the Dodgers have lost money, and it's a significant amount, but they make so much money. I promise you they lost money last year. There's no way they didn't lose money last year.
That was the $1 billion roster that they had last year. They had to have lost money on that one.
Yeah,
I can't wait till
there's no salary cap, so
I can't wait till they try to get Shohei at the end of his
career.
And
again, the Dodgers are going to be breaking even at the best of times. They have $1 billion roster.
Yeah.
Their ticket prices are going up and whatnot, but I don't think any of that really matters.
No, because they can quadruple them or 10x those fuckers in the playoffs. So that's where they make their money. How many years did they miss the playoffs? They missed them like 3 or 4 years in a row. Yankees did.
Oh, the Yankees, yeah. They haven't done great in the last decade.
And LA just relies on the fact that they're the only team left over there that's doing anything.
Yes,
No, the fucking Rams aren't doing anything.
Yes, sir. Usually this is where I segue us, but we went down a huge rabbit hole on money.
Hey, it's money.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, Charles.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, you said that the Packer update, we're going to be hearing something by the end of the week. We should have an update from
Oh,
Gutenkist.
no, I expect an update. I
You
don't know.
expect an update.
No, this is just me personally. I would expect an update by Friday. You got the dude not practicing now.
Right.
It
And you've
doesn't-
got all the people in everybody's ear. Everybody texting, hey, what's going on with Green Bay? Got all the fans freaking going up in a frenzy. Meanwhile, everybody else is, it's fucking football.
You run into quite a few people who only watch football on Sundays, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the fact
Why?
of the matter, you have way too many delusional ass people out there who think Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence are any good. And that's, I can't say it any more times, and many people can't say it any more times than they already have. When you have mediocre quarterbacks making $255 million, you're going to run into a situation where, with a guy who's only given you 10 great games. We were just waiting for consistency. But he gives you 10 great games, and now you're looking, he's going to get $280 million. He's going to be the highest paid quarterback. It doesn't matter if he deserves it or not. He's earned it. And,
Right.
and
Then you're
again,
going to run into it.
you've got fucking the Lions giving Jared Goff a $225 million extension, who has done less in Detroit than he did with the Rams. Let's be honest. Maybe that Rams team was a much better team than this Lions team, but I don't know.
He's getting it because he was number 2 in the league last year in passing yards. This is the only thing that I can see they justify. Maybe he'll get better.
He's been bottom 10 under pressure his entire career.
Yeah,
Nothing has gotten better. He
Well,
makes terrible.
That
he makes,
offensive line isn't going to get any better if they didn't put any money into it.
but, and again, too, if you're just focused on the regular season like the Ravens, that's awesome. But when you're in the playoffs, it's a different animal. You don't get that bounce back week. It's easy. All you have to do is get pressure on Jared Goff.
Let's spin this back around to the Jets for 1 second. Off the top of your head, who do you think that these morons would be talking about to replace Hackett at offensive coordinator anyway? I don't even know anybody available to be an offensive coordinator. I just don't
And he
understand
wouldn't take the job anyway.
what name they would bring in.
No, I think
This
it's all
time of the
poppycock.
season? Yeah,
No,
this
it's
time of
all
the season,
yeah.
everybody's already got their vacations planned, their cruises planned with their family. They're not just going to up and pack up this early in the season and try to game plan for an NFL season. That's insanity. What coach is going to be ready for that?
In my opinion, you look at the Bills last year, and it would be the perfect example. So the Bills got rid of their offensive coordinator, but they pulled somebody within the organization.
Right.
The only person better at running an offense in the New York Jets organization than Nathaniel Hackett is Aaron Rodgers. And he's going to be the guy running the offense anyways. The offense isn't going to be the problem this year unless Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. And that's what's going to be it. People think that the Jets are just, the Jets need to score 17 points and they're going to win every game. Show me 4 or 5 losses on their season if they score 17 points. 17 points a game. Are you kidding me? This is not the 85 Bears defense. It's the goddamn Jets. And to be honest with you, they got wrecked a bunch of times last season.
They're gonna have bad games. When they're on, they're on. But they're not going to be on for 17 games, dude. They're just not.
And even when they're on against playoff teams, you still have to score 20 points to win. It's a playoff team.
The caliber of talent out there is way better.
No, there isn't anybody that they're going to replace Nathaniel Hackett with. There's somebody that will take over the offensive coordinator job, but I don't even think that'll happen. Nathaniel Hackett will take over the head coaching ordeal and will continue with the offense, but the whole offense is ran by Aaron Rodgers. The only person in this scenario that will get folded on is Robert. And I thought he should have been fired last year, so I think he's the hottest seat in the NFL.
Yeah.
If people are talking about Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys, and it's, wait a minute, Harbaugh has done the same thing in Baltimore. Harbaugh wins a bunch of games in Baltimore and then fucks off in the playoffs. But he's got there one time. So has Mike McCarthy. In fact, Mike McCarthy has developed more quarterbacks than Harbaugh has. Better quarterbacks than Harbaugh has. And I believe, I have no numbers in front of me, but I wouldn't hesitate to bet that McCarthy's got a better regular season record than Harbaugh. So it's befuddling to me that McCarthy's getting all this smoke with the Cowboys, But not a soul is talking to Harbaugh because nobody thinks it's Lamar Jackson's fault. So then whose fucking fault is it? Whose fault is it that they fail in the playoffs? Whose fault is it that Lamar Jackson underperforms in the playoffs? Because in Mike McCarthy's case, it's him. So how is it in Harbaugh's case with the Baltimore Ravens? It's all you do is hear people tell the truth about Lamar, and then the organization comes out and defends Lamar. Okay, then whose fucking fault is it? Because you're just rinsing and repeating if you're the Baltimore Ravens. You keep replacing players on the field and nothing changes. You get better production in the regular season from a guy and nothing changes. You get healthy players all the time. Well, you're hurt all the time. Now you have a healthy situation, and that's gone.
Yeah, you're right. He hasn't won he's been to a Super Bowl, obviously, since then, but he only won one, and that was in 2012.
Yeah.
But he does have a Super Bowl ring. That's something that a lot of coaches don't have that are in the...
Right. But in this scenario, so does Mike McCarthy. And the Dallas Cowboys, since Mike McCarthy has been there, has been one of the best, if not the best, regular season team in the NFL.
They're just terrible playoff team. That's a good debate. We should have it. We'll do blind stats one of these days against the two of them, and they're probably very similar.
Just the eyeball test, I'd be shocked if one was heavier than the other.
Yeah. Like one of the stats was like way higher than the other one.
I'd be absolutely shocked.
Oh, defense. We'll just do offense because defensively, I think you'll be able to tell a difference.
And you shouldn't. The Dallas Cowboys have had a formidable defense.
They had a few games last year where they gave up like 6
terrible. Oh no, they had terrible games. Yeah, absolutely. No,
look very similar outside of quarterback rushing yards, maybe.
Absolutely, but did Flacco ever win an MVP? I think he won Super Bowl MVP, but he never won an MVP.
Super Bowl MVP. And the defense.
And again, too, like Lamar Jackson might be a 2-time MVP on paper, but he is not a 2-time MVP. It befuddles me. He wasn't even the best quarterback last season statistically.
Lamar Jackson, LeBron James, LeBron Jackson.
Absolutely.
I mean,
he was the absolute worst quarterback to ever win the NFL MVP. He had the least amount. The only thing he had was rushing yards.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. So besides all of that,
yeah,
McCarthy should have developed 2 MVPs. If it didn't go to CMC, it should have went to Dak last year, and that's crazy to me. But no, the only option for the Jets is if they're not playoff bound before the middle of the season is to fire Robert.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's going to happen regardless, to be honest with you. I think he's a terrible coach.
Yeah, I don't know why he left San Francisco and jumped ship so quick. Doesn't make any sense to me. No doubt he is an NMU alum, though.
Hey, cool. He was a
hell of a defensive or linebacker coach. Was he a linebacker coach?
When you got the team that the 49ers have, anybody should be able to coach that.
You would hope.
Brock Purdy's only as good as he is because of the wide receivers around him. So how can we say that the coordinators or the coaches are not good because of the players they have making the plays they're writing up? It's the same thing that happened with Belichick.
Once Brady left, it was gone. Belichick was still there. That team did a 180 like you wouldn't believe.
Well, I mean,
they're still running the same plays.
That's true, absolutely.
They weren't having success.
But even bringing Brady back into the situation, he had coordinators leave all the time for head coaching positions. Most of the time, they ended up coming right back. Or left the league in its entirety. So it's sometimes a really good team gets people jobs they shouldn't. Perfect example would be like Matt Flynn for the Green Bay Packers to Seattle. Guy had one good game.
That was the 5-touchdown game got him that contract. Dude, is that not the craziest thing
And then he
ever?
lost the job before the season even started to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, whatever. I got paid. I think he got $12 million or something. So you got retirement money. Good for you, dude. You got your pension early.
I still think he could have had longevity as the Green Bay Packer backup, but whatever.
He could have. Yeah. But old Kirky Benkert. He should have though too. He should have stuck around instead of went and did the podcast and the NFL, the Madden thing.
All right, let's bounce into some fantasy football here because I don't have a lot more news from the Packers training camp. The defense is looking hungry, but I don't care about any of this. I care about who shows up. I care about who's healthy. I care about who's working hard in practice. That's what I care about. But you had mentioned something about old boy going 5 for 5. I'm getting fucking kicker.
Anders Carlson went, we'll give him an extra one. 6 for 6. 33, 38, 41, 41, 45, and 46. Congratulations.
Yeah, but
on making 6 field goal attempts with no pressure.
That's the thing, too. Thinking back to last year, going into camp, everyone was super excited about our rookie kicker. And then a game or two in, he started missing everything because he couldn't handle the pressure. And neither does the organization.
Though. They did bring in another kicker, so there is competition.
I was just saying, I think the organization feels the exact same way because they went out and got a solidified kicker. Somebody who's going to give you 88 to 90%, which is much better. Statistically, we had the worst kicker in the fucking league last year.
Oh, shout out to Christian Watson as well. Tweeting out, my hammy feels slammy jammy. Shout out to the University of Wisconsin for figuring that out down in Madison. They figured out the hamstring issue, and hopefully they get it remedied, and he comes back 100%. Like Charles said, it's a do-or-die season for Watson.
The good news for us, though,
even without him.
No. Let's say he has a breakout season. Let's say he has 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns. That'd be a fantastic season. Let's go for glory. Because he was hurt 3 years leading up to that, we're going to keep him on our team for a killer deal. Because ain't nobody going to sign him for what a veteran's making at that statistical range for the liability that he could
He's not going to make the 18 to 22 million dollars that they're asking for.
We can get him on a cheap 2-year deal. Yeah, so it would all work out.
You probably give him 22 million over 2 years, which is probably what he would be worth. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so fantasy season's coming up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to be defending my fantasy football championship from last year. This is very exciting. So coming in we're just going to do the top 10 ranked players, and then I'm going to go, we'll break down into positions, yada, yada, yada. Coming in at number 1, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering is he the number 1 pick this year? It's got to be 90% of the leagues.
He's got to be.
Number 1 pick this year.
Yeah. Still young, still ready, still hungry. If you get this pick again, are you going to take him? I thought that's what you were going to bring up. Because I thought that's why you were saying, is he the consensus?
No. I've got to, no. All right, here we go. Here we go. Okay, see, every week last week, you were telling me this is the week Christian gets hurt.
I kept telling you that, yeah. And that was more of I wasn't hoping for him to get injured. It was more so me. I didn't want to be as wrong as I was because every week you kept proving more and more how wrong I was with wins and setting records and everything else. Yeah.
So now my big concern this year, right, and I don't know where this is coming from, is that I'm really concerned he's going to get hurt because he barely made it through last season, dude. Yeah. Let's be honest. There was one game he got ripped out in the first quarter, and they didn't play him as a precaution. At the end of the season, he did get hurt, and he didn't play in the playoffs, actually. That took a lot of jumping on the waiver wire and filling some gaps to push through that 2-week thing. But I've got a massive concern with Christian McCaffrey right now. And I don't know why. I don't know if I'm trying to blow smoke. I don't know where I'm drafting this year, to be honest with you. I mean, I know it's all randomized and shit, but I can't expect to be in the top 5 like I was last year. Definitely top 3. If I get there, cool. Yeah. But, I mean, is that just something I'm allowing, like a safety net? Am I creating a safety net in my mind for when I don't get to pick him?
Yeah. I think this year the 49ers are going to rely on him. And probably not as much as they would in years past because they're probably going to rely on the defense a little bit more this year. They probably realize that they don't need to win 15 games.
In a perfect world, they would like that, but
yeah,
I don't know. The only reason I won the championship last year, it wasn't because of one player. How great the young talent has come into the NFL and has really boosted the fantasy pool. Because coming in at number 2, projected CD Lamb. And he happened to be the reason him and Christian McCaffrey were the 2 that carried me through the season And CD Lamb won me the playoffs, to be honest.
Youth, health.
Yeah, youth and health. But the weird thing for me last year, dude, my quarterback was trash last year.
Yeah, you got carried by a few guys. Like, it's weird. It's weird how you can have such a great team and then just not even have to worry about it. You're like, just throw the other guy in there.
Yeah. It really helped that I saw CJ for what he was and picked him up early and then sat him on my bench for week 10.
Yeah.
I had multiple people ask me about him, and I'm like, there's no way I can give any of you this player. I can't, because all of you with this player become good enough to beat me immediately. Yeah.
If it doesn't benefit both people, and we don't get to vote on it and we don't get to vote it down, if it doesn't benefit both of us, that's between the two of you. That's your problem. If you don't ask enough for the player that you're trying to trade, that's your problem.
If you're not paying attention, that is none of our faults.
Yeah.
And if somebody feels like they've got to go and message a bunch of people to get them to come on to vote, that's cool too. Because that's how the league survives. It's how the league thrives. It's how it continues. But no, I agree with you. There should be no regulations on trades.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, if it's... You hope for integrity, but when it comes down to it, it boils mostly to a car salesman versus a barista, more or less. One of you talks to the other one. Now, in a good room, both parties leave happy. In a great room, both parties leave better and happy. So we'll end up seeing how that goes. But looking at this list now, with CD Lamb coming in at number 2, any shot of recreating the duo or the tandem I thought I may have had is now gone. I took CD in the second round, bro. Yeah.
I believe he was like 10th or 11th or 14th or something like that on the big, maybe he was 12th on the big board last year, which is crazy to even think of.
And he fell to the end of the second round, which would have been like what we had.
Pick?
Yeah, we had. I was pick 3, so that would be like pick 17.
25,
Yeah,
something like that.
17 to 21. So it was well in the later rounds. Yeah. That doesn't happen this year because again, you look at Dallas and outside of CD Lamb, where's their offense? They just they re-signed Zeke Elliott.
I can't wait to see who drafts him. Probably going to be you have to be a diehard Dallas fan to go back to that freaking watering hole. Just saying.
Here's where it gets interesting. 3, Breece Hall. 4, Tyreek Hill. If I'm in the position at 3, I'm taking Tyreek Hill over Breece Hall.
I'm not taking Breece Hall. Who put these things out here? You're telling me they think Breece Hall is the number 3?
It's going to be the number 3 overall. The number 3 overall player. Absolutely.
Yeah,
above players like Tyreek Hill, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua.
No. Probably none of those. I think he's better than. Unfortunately.
None of those. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to get you more points than Breece Hall.
Yes, he is a production machine.
Breece Hall is a younger version of Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones never made it on a top 10 list with Aaron Rodgers.
No. He would either get hurt or he would never. He did get hurt last year or the year before.
I'm here to tell you right now, if you take Breece Hall or Garrett Wilson
at 3 or 4
in the first round, you're in trouble. Yeah. You're in a lot of trouble.
So means your draft's not going to go too well from there if that's what your mindset is.
It's weird to me seeing Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson ranked outside of the top 5, though.
That is crazy. But I mean, they're getting older. Yeah.
But their production hasn't changed.
Not really.
But you have Tyreek Hill as number 4. The dude who's definitely going to run himself into a hamstring situation.
He probably will.
He does every year.
Yeah, usually week 8 or something, or 6, between week 6 and 8, he'll end up coming with some strained oblique or something will happen, and then it'll become a hammy, and then he'll be out 3 to 4 weeks, or he'll be questionable 3 to 4 weeks. It's a revolving door with this guy.
Bijan Robinson is going to be exciting for me. So now here's where it gets coming in at number 1 is Josh Allen.
I can see that. You get the dual threat touchdowns with the rushing touchdowns and the passing touchdowns.
Coming in at number 2.
You're going to say Lamar Jackson?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, really? Wow. I didn't think he put up that great of numbers last year.
He was my quarterback last year. He didn't. In fact,
Yeah.
many games almost lost because of him, and one game I did lose because of him.
I think you were bitching one time. He had like 3 points or something in one game.
The last 10 weeks of the season, going into the second half of every game, he was negative points. And it wasn't until the third quarter or somewhere in the fourth or middle of the fourth that he would go over 15 points.
Oh,
yeah, and then he would manage like 17 to 20 points. So if the first half just wasn't there, bro, he would be a 35 point a night fucking quarterback.
He was always playing from behind. He had to come back.
Dude, it was so bad. It was so bad. So I don't know. I don't see him at number 2. I picked a quarterback last year in round 4. People were laughing about it, but it's hard.
I usually go running back, or wide receiver, tight end. Yeah. You got to go offense.
It's going to be hard for me to step away from my plan that was last year.
Yeah.
Running back, wide receiver, quarterback, tight end.
That's a pretty normal draft strategy. A lot of people follow that. It's common.
Now, where I draft
depending
and who's available,
right, could change that.
It could end up going wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, quarterback. We got new people coming into this.
You don't
league,
know what they're going to draft. Yeah.
And they could start drafting a quarterback round 3 because of where they are in the position, because that's a huge thing, right? I think we'll have 10 or 12 people again. And let's say I end up in 8th or 9th draft position.
Oh, we might even have 2 leagues this year. I got at least 2 guys coming back from work, and then we've got everybody else, and then obviously Mike and Paul, and if we get Nate and Bailey, we might even ask Tim on Thursday.
Yeah. That'd be cool. We'd get everybody in here.
Might have to keep it PG because I don't think he would appreciate the vulgarity that we had last year. But as long as everybody else manages themselves in a normal mindset, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to be fine regardless. Last year was King of the Hill. It was a pecking order. Everyone was new. People realized way too late that there was a chain of command structure that they felt they were involved with. You pay your money, you play your league, you follow the rules, and you have a good time. When you try to do more, you end up in situations where we ended up in last year. Yeah, I agree. It'll be a lot less vulgar this year. I think things have smoothed themselves over. So coming in at number 3, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I see these. Just the hurts. It's just the hurts so far.
Oh, so no, it's going to get way different. Coming in at number 4. Boy. Coming in at number 4. Now, I have not said Lamar Jackson yet, right?
No, you haven't.
Anthony Richardson.
Oh, my God. See, I said this as a joke as my sleeper. I didn't actually think the guy was actually going to put up huge numbers because I have questions for his health as well, Charles.
Yeah, he's
right over my head.
He's only a sleeper because analytically you're worried about his health.
Yeah.
On everybody else's list that I'm seeing here, which is
he's
not
apparently his stock.
He's a top 5. He's a top 5 fantasy quarterback this year.
That's funny because he wasn't even in our top 25 if we were to put a list out.
No. I might struggle for somebody at 18 and put him in there.
Wow.
I mean,
to be 100% truthful, yes, probably in the top 20. But
coming in at number 5, Lamar Jackson. Number 6, C.J. Stroud. Number 7, Dak Prescott. Number 8, Joe Burrow. Number 9, Kyler Murray. And coming in at number 10, our boy Jay Love. Now, here's the thing.
I can see Love between 6 and 10. I mean, realistically.
Anywhere in 6 or 10.
Is it just a sandwich of really mediocre talent?
Jaden Daniels coming in at number 11.
Hasn't proven a thing, but he's
Aaron Rodgers coming in at 12.
What?
Caleb Williams coming in at 13.
This is an ESPN list?
This is projections based in our league.
Definitely not using ESPN's quarterback list.
Coming in at number 14, Brock Purdy.
He should be at least at 12.
The whole list should be different. Brock Purdy should be
in the top 10.
Jordan Love will keep at 10. Joe Burrow should be up where Anthony Richardson is at 4. Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, Dak Prescott, and Brock Purdy to me are all tied at 6 through 8. I don't think you will go wrong picking any one of those quarterbacks, and you will do better than most of the rest of the league, especially if anybody's following this list.
Those are a 16 to 20 point quarterback.
Every week, 16 to 20
So-
points. Every week. You got Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, CJ Stroud. Anthony Richardson wasn't even breaking the fantasy cake when he played.
No, what is he going to give you that's going to get you to the point where he deserves to be top 5? He's got to give you 25 points a game.
He went 50 for 84, 577 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's projected 312 of 488. He's projected to go over 3,300 yards and 16 touchdowns.
I don't see that happening.
Maybe combined with rushing. Maybe combined with rushing. But he's going to have to rush for over 1,000. He's going to have to rush for over 1,000 to get over the 3,000. Are you kidding me?
He's hurt. And at that point, he's getting hurt.
He's hurt at 400 yards. That should be your marker. You do not run him more than 400 yards before Thanksgiving, and you run him less than 250.
You absolutely were 100% right, Charles, because they are going to ruin this guy's career.
My biggest fucking gripe, you're 100% right, Patrick. Thank you for bringing that up. Draft day, I was fucking furious, and everyone was like, what, you don't like the kid? I love the kid.
Yeah.
I thought he needed way more time. The dude at best was, I think, 48% completion on throws that weren't wide open, right?
Yeah, he never should have been drafted onto a team that needed a quarterback right now.
And it was so funny. People think that, that injury is going to change him. That's crazy to me.
He's going to be thinking about it.
Leading up to the injury, all you heard him say was, yeah, no, I can't take big hits. But then every time he ran the ball, he lowered his shoulder and fucking hit the dude. So I don't know when you think that's going to change, because it never changed for RG3. It changed for Lamar Jackson, let's be honest.
He got a little more evasive.
But I think he just got sick and tired of hearing everybody be right.
Yeah.
And all he kept saying was, I'm going to prove you wrong. This isn't the Little Giants. Yeah, you can beat me 99 times, but we'll get that one win. When we're right 99 times and then you're right once, that's called an anomaly.
Yeah.
And in the percentage world, it's never bet on. So if I'm sitting at 99% of the time you're trash, and trash is a strong word, but regardless, tongue in cheek here, people. The other 1% of the time, I'm not going to hold my breath on.
Yeah.
CJ threw for over 4,000 yards last year, 4,100.
Yeah, I would put him in the top, like you said, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Man, big things coming for J Love this year. He threw for 4,159 yards, 32 touchdowns, threw the ball 579 times, went 372 of 579. Projections for this year, 325 of 510, 3,669 yards, 3,500 yards, over 25 touchdowns, 26 touchdowns. 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns.
They're banking on Jacobs running the ball a little bit more. He's a little bit more reliable.
Everything's better, right? When you take your feelings away from the situation and you put the two players on paper in front of you, everybody's picking Josh Jacobs 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You don't know football if you look at it analytically, right? Like I'm glad this list is the way it is, right? For one, way too many people are going to, oh no, never mind. If we weren't in as strong of a league as we were in, I'd be happy to see this list. But many of the people
nobody's
looking at this list going, oh yeah, no, I'm going to pick Anthony Richardson. That's going to be a dog.
You know what this
pick
when they rank these? So we're gonna have to do research now. Like usually ESPN's got a pretty even keel of where players should be. They might be a couple up or a couple down. This one, holy crap, they've got some guys that are around 14, 15 that deserve to be in the top 10.
Where's Ryan Tannehill Jr.?
On that list, you have the full list?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 15.
You hang out with Lions fans or some shit? 21. 21. Just smack.
The way the list was.
Yeah, I know. Smack dab in the middle of Bryce Young and Matt Stafford coming in at 20, Jared Goff coming in at 21, Bryce Young coming in at 22. This is your $225 million quarterback, Detroit. Coming in at 21.
And people thought we were crazy.
They've got him throwing for almost 1,000 less yards projected.
Yeah.
And almost 10 less touchdowns. He threw 30 last year. They're thinking 23 this year. That's Jared Goff. That's normal.
List up right here, Charles. Let's bring our list up here real quick. So there's our list right there. We got Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Jackson, Prescott, Hurts, Purdy, Love, Stroud, Stafford. I don't see a Jared Goff on here, so I think we did a pretty good job.
102. 14 touchdowns on Danny Dimes. I'm going to pick up Daniel Jones as my backup quarterback, just so everyone knows. And I'm confident in telling you and everyone listening this out loud because nobody's going to pick up Danny Dimes. Nobody is. Like, again, somebody fucked me on Romeo Dobbs last year, and I won't let that happen.
Who took my?
I hit click on the motherfucker like it was. I thought it was my turn. It was Joey. And I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear, boop.
He goes off.
It almost fucked my whole draft, to be honest with you, because I ended up with like 4 Kansas City players then. 4 or 5 Kansas City players.
Yeah, you had Rice and
Rashid Rice, Pacheco, McKinney. Yeah, it ended up getting McKinney. Like, so they've got the rookie quarterbacks. So that's a pretty interesting list. So we're gonna hit through the running backs here real quick. Yeah. So number 1, obviously, Christian McCaffrey. Number 2, for no fucking reason at all, Breece Hall. That rhymed.
We knew that was going to happen when they got him at number 3.
I just don't understand, dude. He's projected to run
give me
for
his stats.
1,050 yards and 8 touchdowns. How do you have this guy as the number 2? He's the number 2 quarterback, but he's the number 3 overall player, I believe, if I remember that correctly.
Or running back, yeah.
He was the number 3 overall player. Still, the number 3 overall fantasy getter projected. Oh my God.
It probably gets way worse.
The list is being weird right now. It's not.
I had to assume like Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson's got to be in the top 5, right?
Yeah. Coming in at number 3, Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
I see that. I like that. I'd rather him be number 2. If
he needs to get the ball more to be number 2, but I can see him in the top 5. Yeah.
I think he's projected less.
What's he supposed to be?
950. 7 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, 3 receiving touchdowns, projected fantasy points 287. That's Breece Hall.
Okay, so he's supposed to catch balls out of the backfield from Rodgers because Rodgers loves the backfield pass and catch.
Yeah. 550 catches.
That makes a little more sense. They think he's going to be a...
Same thing with Kirk Cousins. Kirky does the same fucking thing.
BJ.
Yeah, with Bijan Robinson, except Bijan's projected more yards, more catches, more touchdowns, 3 less fantasy points than Breece Hall. All day long, I'm taking Bijan Robinson over Bryce. Coming in at number 4, Jonathan Taylor.
If he stays healthy, I can see it. He's a 1,000-yard rusher when he's healthy.
Yeah, he went 741 last year. I don't think he played every game last year, did he?
No, I don't think so either. But he held out, didn't he? Either way, he missed a few games. Yeah.
Coming in at number 5. This scares me because I have a terrible feeling about this individual. But I can't decipher what that terrible feeling is. Is it a terrible feeling because I'm misjudging the situation horrendously? Or is it a terrible feeling because I'm right?
Aaron Jones?
And it's leading to a terrible situation.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley.
I don't think Saquon Barkley is a top 5 running back. Unfortunately, I don't think I don't think the guy in this stage of his career he's not old, but he's had injuries and he's had nagging injuries his entire playing career since Penn State. So you can't get past that. You can't get past these little clicks and little. When did he have a full season? His rookie season? It was the best year he had, right?
Yeah, I was. Honestly, dude, if I'm being honest, I can't tell you because the only thing I remember is him being hurt.
Yeah.
And we're not Giants fans, so it's not something that's like
the thing is,
on the top of our minds.
The guy is not electric. He's a fantastic running back, an elite running back.
Rounds 1 through 2.
Stay healthy.
Rounds 1 through 2 is too early for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I'm taking
maybe
the second round. If I've got the 10th to 12th pick and he's still there, and I don't have one of the top 5 running backs, I'm taking him. Yeah, guaranteed. I guess. Maybe.
If I'm in the top 5, if I'm in the top 5, I would look at him in the late second round.
I'm saying if I'm in the top first round, I'm not taking him first round. But I said if running backs start to go, I'm looking at them.
You have to, definitely. Yeah. But again, here's the kicker, right?
Yeah.
My second running back, dude, didn't come until the 5th round. And that was Isaiah Pacheco. And he damn well about week 6 became my main running back.
You can wait on certain types of players that are in certain systems. Like you can probably get a running back from like the Eagles or even what's another team that.
Here's one that it shouldn't be a sleeper. It shouldn't be, but according to the list I'm seeing, Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is going to be an electric running back for the Texans. I think he's going to fit in well. I think he's a better running back than Singletary, and Singletary did well in that Texas organization. Mixon's coming in at number 11. I believe his projected is like 240, 225. He had 267 points last year.
Cam Akers signed with the Texans as well.
Yeah, yep. The dude's a dog.
Yeah.
And he's the number 7 projected running back. So it's not unheard of coming in with Jahmyr Gibbs is only projected to get 236 points. And Kyren Williams is projected to get 243. But Jahmyr Gibbs is coming in at 6, and Kyren's coming in at 7.
That's crazy.
I just don't understand their math. Maybe I'm not supposed to. But Joe Mixon, Devon Achane. Where do you think Raheem Mostert is on this list?
17.
I had to have missed him. He's not. I don't see him at all. Achane's in at 13. Josh Jacobs at 16. Aaron Jones at 19. David Montgomery at 23. Ezekiel Elliott, 32. Raheem Mostert. What? 35th ranked running back. Projected 700 yards. 8 touchdowns. He had 18 last year. Now, 18 is going to be that. There's no way that happens. But he had 267 fantasy points. They're projecting him to make 100 less this year.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right underneath him is Blake Corum. Coming in at number 37, bro.
37.
Blake Corum is at 36. 37. Nick Chubb. What? Why?
I have no idea.
Wild. So there's your running backs. I love that, dude. That running list is stacked. Outside of your death traps, Breece Hall, Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry. I don't like them at all. I don't know why. I know why for most of them. So this is where it'll get fun. Wide receivers. I'm interested to see where they got the rookies and yada. Number 1, CeeDee Lamb. Number 2, Tyreek Hill. Do we think this is real?
It's got to be.
Fucking guy had 403 points for me last year, dude. Tyreek Hill missed some games. He came in at 376. Oof. Is that because of the quarterback?
It might be.
Quarterback / health? On
It's
both the
possible.
quarterback and the player for Miami. That'll be tough. Is Tyreek Hill
The top 5 fantasy pick? Probably not top 5, top 10, yes.
top 10? Definitely.
Yeah.
But do we see Tyreek Hill go in the first 5?
But somebody might throw that much faith into him. I can see somebody doing
Okay,
it. But
scenario for you.
Probably not in our league. Not in our league, I don't believe so.
Scenario for you. Christian,
Yes.
Breece, Bijan, Jonathan, Saquon, Jahmyr, and Kyren Williams are all gone. Tyreek Hill's still on the board. Do you take him instead of Pacheco? Or Derrick Henry, or Joe Mixon, or Travis Etienne Jr.?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be pick 8. So I don't see Christian, Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon being there. So would you take Tyreek over Breece Hall? Yes. Would you take Tyreek Hill over Saquon Barkley? That's
The projected stats got to be very similar, correct? Like as far as fantasy points go, what's the fantasy point?
Saquon's 252 and Tyreek Hill 298.
So
No.
I guess Tyreek Hill might be more. The ceiling's higher, obviously.
Yeah.
So
It'll be
it's going to
interesting.
depend on how pass heavy you are. If you link another player to him, say you might take Tyreek Hill as well.
If Devon Achin goes off like he did, you've only got so much turkey on that leg, and it's got to feed everyone. So, yeah, it will. It'll be interesting. 3, 4, 5. Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson. So now it's starting to seem a little weird. Your overall projection had Garrett Wilson above Justin Jefferson, but in your wide receiver projections, you have Justin Jefferson above Garrett Wilson.
Is this because they're doing this off a PPR league? Because if it's that, then Amon-Ra St. Brown catches like 100 balls. Like you get the extra boost for that, extra points. The reason why
it is showing me targets, catches, yards, average, touchdowns, carries, yards, touchdowns.
They're not basing this off of necessarily who's the better player, but who's going to get more fantasy points based off of what league you're in. That's why it's a fantasy ranking, probably.
Yeah. I'm not taking Garrett Wilson in the top 10.
Dude, I'm staying away from any Jets receiver.
Here's the kicker. If you can get any Jets player after the 4th round, you're probably sitting in a decent boat. But if you're forced to pick Jets players anywhere from 3 to 6, you're not in a good boat.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If you're sitting there thinking that's the best player I've got for my options, your league is fucking crazy and you're going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble this season. And you got to hope for gold. I don't know. Because I'm definitely taking Puka Nacua over Garrett Wilson every day of the week.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a question. I'm definitely taking A.J. Brown over Garrett Wilson. This is where it gets interesting to me, though. Chris Olave, Michael Pittman Jr., or Devontae Adams. Are you taking any one of them over Garrett Wilson?
No, I mean, there's so many questions at quarterback with all those players. So probably not.
Marvin Harrison Jr. coming in at 12, and I agree. And he's the reason Kyler Murray is number 9 on that quarterback list.
Between him and Neighbors, there's going to be definitely a lot of smoke between those two receivers.
I still like Malik Neighbors to be my rookie of the year. I really do. Or maybe even rookie offensive player of the year. Rookie of the year might go to a defender. So you got Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake London, Nico Collins. Who are you taking if that's your wide receiver pool?
I'm taking Nico because Nico is the most reliable out of all those. Drake London
with Kirky Cousins
is going to be a better receiver now.
Drake London is
probably
Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson
he has the most upside if he plays up to his potential for sure.
Okay, so Drake London, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, or DK Metcalf?
I'm probably taking Mike Evans because he's Mr. Consistency.
Mm-hmm. That was ranked 13, 14, 15, and 16. So wide receivers are going to be interesting. Nobody really else is coming in hot. 17 through 20, you have Stephon Diggs, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle. If that's the pool I'm picking out of in that phase, I'm taking Jalen Waddle 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't trust the rookie in Chicago. I'm taking Brandon Ayuk. Because if he plays for the 49ers, he's going to get more targets because he's calling.
And if he goes anywhere else, he's going to be on a team that's desperate for a number 1 receiver. So he's going to get more targets either way.
Bro, the only team I can think of Brandon Ayuk going right now, if you ask me, if I had to tell you where he's going, and it's not the 49ers.
Kansas City.
Buffalo Bills.
With
Josh Allen.
Can they afford him?
Yeah.
They can?
Yes. Yeah, because we're at a point now where you can give him a signing bonus, let him play for hashtag amount, and then his salary will progress. No, he'll be there. Oh. He'll be there to stay. It'll probably be a sign and trade or some shit like that. But, yeah, I can see it. Especially in a sign and trade sense, right? Because here's the kicker. Because I can throw in an extra draft pick for you to take most of that salary until next year. Because then next year, that salary goes off your books. It goes on my books better. Next year, I can afford it. And you have more money now to pay a quarterback that you should have paid 2 years ago, but the league rules wouldn't let you pay him until this year.
That's got to change, too, if they want teams to actually be competitive. They're forcing teams to pay
Well,
players large
they
salaries because they're not allowed to renegotiate the contract because of the way that the bargaining goes. I agree.
it was a
I
safety
agree.
net for shit players. That's what it is.
Yeah, I know.
Because if you can restructure any contract, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't just say, if you're good, then we can restructure you. It's going to be, okay, now you can restructure them.
Yeah.
And you're going to look at your rookie that you, like, let's say somebody in Chicago, any one of those new rookies, let's say they, DJ Moore, or anybody underperforms on a rookie contract, you could cut them on the spot.
Yeah.
The individual that got in a conversation with me about Christian Watson, he wasn't wrong. He was just assuming, and I wasn't going to let him be right because that wasn't what the fucking conversation was about. Watson is on a rookie contract. But if he plays like poo-poo this year and he's hurt half the season, he's going to be gone. That's all there is to it.
They haven't even started to negotiate with him. I mean, he knows he's got no leverage, so why would he try to negotiate? The only thing that Packers have going for them is that he is on his rookie contract. And guess what? Usually when players are on their last contract, they're going to try to have the best season they can because they want to get the best contract they can. I get why people argue it and they complain about it, but I think sometimes the fan rationale like literally blurs their brain and they just start thinking about the numbers. They don't think about what actually is going to happen. You got to wait for the season to progress before any of that stuff even becomes a question.
Travis Kelce at number 1. Why?
Yeah. Why number 1? Well, yeah, why not Laporta?
Yeah.
Kelsey's, like I said, I would not be surprised this year. I think that they're not going to be able to go to Kelce like they were in the past.
No, they weren't last year. They tried last year and couldn't, and that's why they got into trouble. It's why Kansas City beefed up their offense this Super Bowl run. They did it mostly with defense last year. But yeah, coming in at number 2 is Sam Laporta, and everything says Sam's going to dwarf him except ESPN's random numbers. Yeah. Even the fantasy points, more catches, more targets, more yards, averaging more touchdowns. The only difference is somewhere down the road, Travis Kelce is projected to carry the ball twice for 1 yard.
You got to be shitting me.
No, I swear to God. But then you go look at the fantasy points. Travis Kelce, 208.7. Sam Laporta, 210.15.
Isn't this ranked off fantasy points? So why would he not be number 1?
Why would he not be number 1? There isn't anyone close to those two. If we're
no.
So he hit 219 last year, Travis Kelce. Sam Laporta hit 239 last year. Those are the tight ends. I just don't think it's Travis Kelce anymore. Coming at 3, 4, 5, Mark Andrews, Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid.
Where's old Schulte? No, I'm just saying, why isn't Schulte up there?
Trey McBride is somebody
Trey McBride is a dog. He's a dog.
You remember towards the end of the season, I was very tight end heavy last year. I think I ended up the last 2 games leading up to the playoffs, I ran 2 tight ends on my lineup, and Dalton Schultz and Trey McBride. I like Dalton Kincaid at 5. I like Trey McBride at 4. I would actually like them better at 3, 4. Mark Andrews at 5. Mark Andrews is getting older.
Yeah, he's getting older.
I mean, Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews, this is the last time you'll see them on the list, top 5, hand to God. Sam Laporta, Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid are going to be great.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8. Evan Ingram for the Jaguars. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence loves tight ends, but just a little bit less than Kyler Murray. And that has a lot to do with college, bro. George Kittle. I personally think Kittle is better than Kelce. I think Kittle is just eating at a table with more mouths to feed.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a quarterback that's in love with him the way Patrick Mahomes loves ketchup on his macaroni. It's what I don't like is Kyle Pitts at 8. I'm just not sure where I would put him.
Maybe with Kirk Cousins, that's why he's more on the list. He's got a reliable quarterback.
If people think Kyle Pitts is going into the league and only going to have 4 touchdowns, TJ Hawkinson is less on this list today than he was yesterday because Kirk Cousins throws touchdowns to tight ends. TJ Hawkinson is 11 now. Kyle Pitts is 8. They've basically switched because of the quarterback. TJ Hawkinson at 11 is way too high. That's crazy to me. The whole quarterback situation, nobody even understands what's going on there.
Yeah.
And J.J. McCarthy is not going to come into the NFL and destroy it. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Michigan fan. I loved J.J. McCarthy, but 100% of the time when we didn't throw the ball when we should have was because we didn't have a quarterback that could.
Well, and Darnold is a deep ball thrower. That's what he's known for. So he's not going to be throwing slants to freaking the tight end, or he's going to be throwing like a curl. No.
Brock Bowers at 12.
Rookie, man. He's got to prove himself. He was fantastic in college. Let's see what he can do.
2 tight ends to stay away from, in my opinion. Dallas Goedert for Philadelphia and Pat Fairmouth from the Steelers.
Yep,
2 that I'm telling you not to be afraid to take right now.
Yep.
Dalton Schultz at any time other than the first or second round.
Yeah.
These are other than first or second round draft picks. Dalton Schultz or Cole Kmet.
Well, I thought you were going to say Musgrave.
No. Now, the reason I'm throwing Cole Kmet from the Bears in there, he's a very good tight end. But he is somebody to me that is going to end up being the safety net when everything blows up because Caleb keeps trying to sling it to wide receivers that aren't open.
Throw for 8 yards, and he's just going to get a lot of those. The
bail me out passes. Rookie quarterback coming into the league, Cole Kmet.
Somebody you're comfortable with.
He's a big target. He's got sure hands. I can see them falling in love. I would be hesitant on taking Cole in the 3rd round. But if you're sitting there in the 4th round and you've decided tight end is where you need to be, and none of the other ones up there are on the board for some reason, shoot for it. Because where they are and the crop of tight ends above them, you could probably get them more in the 5th and 6th round and really boost a spot you didn't think you needed to going into it. Maybe pick up an extra wide receiver, maybe even pick up an extra running back because they'll end up being there. Yeah. And I don't know why, because C.J. Stroud loves his tight end. Just Kyler Murray loves his tight end. It's weird to me. Flexes. Oof. All right, so we're going to drop right into 25 on the 30 on the flex. They got Sam Laporta as the 30th ranked flex. And I get it. I understand this. I get it because you've got all these other people ranked above
the 30th ranked offensive player that's not a quarterback is basically what you're saying.
Can't have a quarterback as a flex. If you could pick up fucking Sam Laporta as a flex,
I would be very happy with that.
The more realistic flex options: Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs. I'm only saying this because I know he's going to be there because there's this weird fucking thing around him, and I don't get it. That dude is going to fucking ball out in Green Bay, and I'm very excited about it. Cooper Kupp. Deebo Samuel, Malik Neighbors. Man. Where do they got Deebo Samuel ranked on the fucking wide receivers here? Hold on. I didn't see his name. And I didn't say it out loud. So he's 23rd ranked wide receiver, right above Malik Neighbors, 2 above Zay Flowers. Man, this is going to be a really hard fantasy draft, bro. I mean, Zay Flowers. If you can get Zay Flowers in the 4th or 5th round, that might be good. I don't know. The defense here. Coming in at number 1, the Browns. They play the Ravens twice a year. I would be very hesitant on picking the Browns as my defense.
Yeah, I'm staying away from the Browns. Tell you, 2 teams that are probably going to fly under the radar as far as defense goes. Like you said, Dallas. Probably Dallas again.
They're coming in at number 4 this year.
Yeah.
Yep. Give me another one.
Another one's going to fly under the radar for me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a shot in the dark, and I'm going to say Chicago Bears defense.
They're about middle of the pack.
They're middle of the pack?
Yeah, but
that's your wild card
team, though. Green Bay defense coming in at 21, just under the Panthers. You could take Green Bay Packers as your defense, and you'll be fine. 19, 20, 21. Yeah, check this out. Texans at 19, Panthers at 20, Green Bay at 21, the Eagles at 22.
You're going to show Mike this list. All of our teams are in the middle of the pack as far as there's no way that's even true.
You got teams coming in like Jaguars, Chargers, Bengals, 13, 12, 11.
That doesn't mean they're a bad team. It just means they're probably not teams that are going to have a lot of
takeaways.
Special teams.
Absolutely. Yeah. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Browns, 49ers, Ravens, Cowboys. 5, 6, 7, 8. Jets, Steelers, Saints, Lions. 9, 10, Dolphins, Chiefs. The defense I'm looking for this year, that I'm hoping for this year, the Jets, the Lions, or the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
That's my bread and butter. I wouldn't be upset if somewhere along the line the Chargers ended up falling into my lap, but the Chiefs aren't winning a Super Bowl this year with their defense. So. Kickers, Brandon Aubrey, Justin Tucker, Jake Elliott, Ka'imi Fairbairn, Evan McPherson, Harrison Butker, Young Ho Ko, Greg Zuerlein, Matt Gay, and Jake Moody. Of course, the universe coming in hot for us, Patrick. I'm not going to take a Jets player unless I have to. I might take their kicker if he's sitting there. When I finally pick a kicker up, just because I don't expect Aaron Rodgers to get into the end zone often, but I expect him to get within field goal range often.
Yeah, that's very true.
Green.
Lots of kicks.
Anders Carlson coming in at number 25. There's some good kickers on this list. Jake Moody coming in at number 10. I think so. If we have 12 people, I'm going to do 12. What are those drafts called?
Oh,
mocks. Yeah. Sorry. Was that with a brain fart? But depending on the amount of people, that's how many mock drafts I'll do, and I'll do one for each position. See where I go, where I'm at. That'll give me the best idea on how to draft and how to come up to it, I guess. It'll be interesting for sure. So we got quite a bit coming up, actually. We've got a special guest, Patrick.
Next week, Charles and I will be having the entertaining conversation going on with Tim Dillard from Bally Sports. The Milwaukee Brewers. Former Brewer, former baseball player, former Texas Ranger. Yeah, he still has a lot to do with the Chinooks down in Waukesha. I can't remember what they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're big Brewers fans, so it's going to be fun.
Oh, this is fantastic. I cannot wait
to ask him about how bad of an umpire Angel Hernandez is because he was a pitcher. If Angel Hernandez ever umpired, I know we're going to get a no comment from him, but I feel like we got to ask the question.
Well, I can set you up real quick. Obviously, umpires have been a much bigger role player in the fans' viewpoints over the last couple of years. As a player, when you run into a situation that we as fans are watching and questioning, how did you get through that? Was it a different mindset? Was there something special? So if it doesn't come out in that, per se, type of conversation, then we could push to it. But sure. I think I agree with you. I think asking that type of direct question might lead to a no comment. Maybe an off the air conversation.
I didn't mean
terrible.
No, I know he's a man of faith, and I don't want to rub any guest the wrong way.
Oh, of course. Obviously, no, it says that guy on your name.
We've never done so. No, but I think honestly, our foodie questions, because I know he's played with a lot of guys that traveled and like that stuff, and obviously his favorite moment playing baseball. There's a lot of things we can ask this.
It's gonna be a blast.
One of the things we can ask him too is this guy's got media credentials. Charles and I are part of the Associated Press. We want to be like, how do we get our foot in the door with this?
I think with the international press passes, we have to move out of the country and then come back in, and we can get in everywhere for free. I
get in everywhere for free. I don't know how this works. It says German. There's a German logo on here somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't wait to walk around.
Yeah. No, it'll be very exciting. We also, training camp. I believe we're going to be scooting on up to training camp. This weekend, I'll be headed to the Brewers. What the hell are they playing? I can't remember who they're playing. I'll be there Saturday.
I can't remember. That's baseball.
It's baseball. Sorry. I think we got 23 people coming to this one.
Nice.
So, 3 years ago, it was I think 7 or 8 of us. Last year, I think there was 11 or 12 of us. This year now we're up to 23, I believe, 21 or 23 of us. So
Nice.
we did get invited by the Timber Rattlers to be able to acquire VIP booths. Ooh. Yeah, dude, they fit 14 people. They're $435, air conditioned. I believe there's a buffet option.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was saying. So we're definitely going to be doing that. I'm sure that'll be next year. But yeah, lots of really big things coming.
Got to plan ahead.
Was there anything else you wanted to touch
I think
on?
we covered most of it today.
We've got lots of fun episodes coming up. We got another Sunday Fun Day episode coming up. We got to start scripting that one out. Hold on.
This Sunday we're gonna finish the bracket next Sunday.
Listen, I lost my notebook here, but there it is. It's under a napkin.
I'm assuming eventually people are gonna ask, "What's going on with the bracket?" Yeah.
Here was today's show's script notes.
Yeah, so. I like how it's like one page, but it ends up being like 16 pages.
So that's what we mean by script. Thank you all for your continued support. Thank you for commenting, for sharing, for engaging. We enjoy the engagements really more than anything else. It's unfortunate at times that most of you only engage when we've pissed you off, which is exactly what we're trying to do. No one's going to find you, right?
No, we're not coming after you for if you're mad at the things that we say.
I appreciate, love every one of you. Who's I talking to today? Robin. Yeah. Poor Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got me going off on a topic about Goff and Mahomes, or Purdy and it was Purdy, really, and he was like, "Oh, Purdy's only good because of all the players," and I'm like, "Patrick Mahomes has had Hall of Fame talent around him forever. So is that the only reason Patrick Mahomes is good? How dare you compare Patrick Mahomes to Brock Purdy? If you think they're on the same planet, you don't know sports." What you said is the reason why Brock Purdy isn't great. Is the same reason you're saying Patrick Mahomes is great. Brock Purdy is playing with maybe one Hall of Famer in Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes has multiple Hall of Famers around him and on the coaching staff. So you cannot say that Brock Purdy is only good because of the players around him and then praise Patrick Mahomes for being the best quarterback in the NFL. You sound like an idiot. To me, anyways. I don't know. Maybe other people feel the same way. Yeah. Not you specifically, Robin. I love you. Just saying that's why that conversation ended.
You got me. Got me riled up.
You got me all smoked up on the internet. I appreciate you. We love you. We care about you. We look forward to many more engagements with many more of our fans. You've got the football season right around the corner. The world is a much better place with you in it, and we love you more.